Have you ever walked into a place you've known your whole life, only to discover something that wasn't supposed to be there? Let me tell you about a room that shouldn't exist. A room that appeared out of nowhere, inside a house where nothing ever changed. A room that didn't want to be found. This story isn't just about a haunted space. It's about a mind unraveling. A mystery that refuses to stay hidden. And a warning, some doors should never be opened. It started with a move. A simple move from a cramped apartment in the city to a quiet two-story farmhouse in the countryside. Daniel and Melissa were newly married, in their early 30s, and tired of the noise, the chaos, the constant stress of city living. So they bought a charming fixer-upper, an old Victorian house on a lonely patch of land with a wide porch, a big backyard, and plenty of room to breathe. It had character, history, and maybe a little too much of it. The house had stood for nearly 130 years. Every previous owner left behind little quirks, strange scratches in the wood, odd renovations, antique wallpaper you could swear looked different depending on the time of day. But it was just old. That's all. Old things creak. Old things have drafts. Old things carry memories. Or so they told themselves. The first few weeks went by peacefully. Daniel worked remotely in the upstairs study. Melissa spent her time renovating the kitchen and tending to the garden. They slept well, laughed often, until the knocking started. Always at 3:12 a.m. 3 precise knocks. Not on the front door, not on the bedroom door, but somewhere inside the walls. Daniel would get up to check, walking the halls with a flashlight. He never found anything. No rats. No plumbing issues. Just silence and an increasingly heavy feeling in his chest. Melissa said it was the house settling. He agreed, but every morning, he'd wake up more exhausted than the last. One morning, while Daniel was in the study, he noticed something strange on the blueprint of the house that had come with the deed. The upstairs hallway showed 5 rooms. But he swore there were only 4. He walked down the hallway slowly, counting. Master bedroom, guest room, study, storage room. That's 4. But the blueprint clearly showed a 5th room at the end of the hall, on the left, across from the study. A room labeled simply as chamber. He stared at the blank wall for a long time. There was no door, no seam, just wallpaper. He knocked. It sounded hollow. That night, he didn't tell Melissa. He didn't want to worry her. The knocking came again, 3:12 a.m. But this time, it was closer. Not behind the walls. Right outside their bedroom door. Daniel leapt out of bed and swung the door open. Empty hallway. Except, something was different. The wall that was once solid now had a door. A plain, white wooden door with no handle. No keyhole, just a dark iron knocker shaped like a lion's head. It wasn't there before. He was sure of it. He called for Melissa, but she was fast asleep and wouldn't wake up. He turned back to the door. It looked old. Older than the house, even. Like it had been buried in the house, waiting. He touched the knocker. It was warm. He yanked his hand back, heart pounding. He told himself it was a dream. Stress. Sleepwalking. He went back to bed and tried to forget it. But the door was still there in the morning. Now it had a doorknob. Melissa saw it, too. She laughed nervously. Said maybe they just missed it before. Daniel didn't laugh. They opened the door together. It creaked loudly, like something exhaling after a long time. Inside was a small, dim room. Dusty. Cold. But not empty. There was a chair, facing the corner. And on the wall, carved deep into the wood, were words. "Do not turn around." Daniel stepped in. Melissa begged him not to. But something about the room felt magnetic. He walked in slowly, eyes fixed on the chair. It was a rocking chair, and though there was no breeze, it was moving. Just slightly. The walls were lined with claw marks, deep gouges that looked fresh. And then he heard it, breathing. Not his, not Melissa's. From the chair. Something was in it. He turned to leave it. The door slammed shut. Melissa screamed and tried to open it from the outside. It wouldn't budge. Daniel pounded on the door, shouting. Behind him, the breathing grew louder. He felt something rise in the room, like pressure, or hatred, and then a voice. Right behind him. You looked. The room went black. Melissa finally broke the door open with a hammer. But the room was empty. No Daniel. No chair. No carvings. Just solid, untouched walls. She searched the entire house. Everywhere. Called the police. They searched, too. The room didn't exist anymore. The wall was sealed up again. No door. No sign it had ever been there. Daniel was never found. No fingerprints. No signs of forced entry. Nothing. Melissa was questioned endlessly. People began to whisper. Some thought she snapped. Some thought Daniel left her, and she made it all up. But late at night, she still hears knocking. Always at 3:12 a.m. 3 knocks, right where the door used to be. And sometimes, when she's brave enough to press her ear to the wall, she hears him, Daniel, whispering, begging, saying the same words over and over. Don't open it. Don't open it. Don't open it. So, would you open the door? End scene, call to action. If that sent a chill down your spine, hit the like button and tell me in the comments. Would you walk into a room that wasn't there yesterday? Make sure to subscribe for more terrifying tales like this. Because sometimes, the scariest places are the ones that don't exist. Until they do.